Hey passengers, in this mini episode of the Station Wagon podcast, we're going to be learning about some of the shows we love. Varmints, Wine and Crime, and The Troyer Show. Stay tuned. Our next episode is all about giving up filler words like, okay, yeah. We're doing something different today. Hold on to your pants and hat.
Held.
Instead of doing our usual experiment, we have the pleasure of interviewing some real podcasters from the show Varmints, Donna Hume and Paul Shomo.
Yay. Hi, Donna and Paul.
Hello.
Hi.
Donna is the female voice, and Paul is the male voice, in case you were trying to figure that out.
That was good.
Yes.
Insert Mark making joke about me gender identifying everybody and how labels aren't so important.
I think we're too old. We're too old to worry about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
perfect,
fine.
perfect.
And I'm way too serious to insert jokes like that, Julie. Come on.
Oh, right, of course. Never, never. Okay, so why don't we start by, can you tell our listeners a little bit about your amazing show, Varmints?
Sure. Oh, and I'm so glad you think it's amazing. We have a lot of fun doing it. Varmints is a podcast that's all about animals. We talk about animal facts. We talk about animals in pop culture. We generally just take one animal a week and go over it and, give you a few facts. We talk about whether or not we would eat that animal. And we just have a lot of fun for about 30 or 40 minutes. And I think most people come away from the podcast with a good laugh and maybe knowing something about animals that they didn't know before. Hopefully, that's the goal.
Donna, how did you get involved in Varmints? Because you are not the original host, right? You're host 2.0?
I am. Paul lost his other host to real life circumstances. His other host is also called Paul, and he ended up having a baby and just sort of lots of stuff going on in his life, and he had to prioritize, and Varmints just couldn't be on the list anymore, so we had to go, and Paul came into Blazing Studio Slack channel one day and said, I need a new host, and I said, me, as loud as I could, and I basically pestered him until he gave me a chance. So
It worked.
Well, I just like the focus on the one animal. It's just so nice to be able to just, dive into understanding how it's going to be to eat, say, a ferret. I just think or not, as the case may be, right? But I mean, really, when I'm going about my day-to-day business and I'm working, writing emails in Outlook, I can just think back and go, yeah, the ferret, he's going to be not so delicious. And so I can plan my evening around that. I can really figure out what I want for dinner or not. It's really great to be able to have that focus. And Donna, your voice reminds me a lot of the woman from Flight of the Conchords. I don't know what that actress's name is, but it was just so nice to listen to you. Paul, you've got a good voice too. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well, something I recommend, Mark, is when you listen to Varmints, imagine Paul and Donna as cartoon versions of whatever animal they're talking about.
Oh, that's interesting. Is that what you do, Julie?
It adds a lot to the experience. That's what I do, Julie. Yeah, for sure. It's awesome.
I can totally imagine the rat and myself twitching my whiskers.
Yeah, exactly.
Rats!
Exactly.
When you pick the animal that you want, I assume that you head over to a zoo or a pet store to do firsthand research. I would just love to know if you ever get free samples.
Oh my God.
No, we do our research on the internet.
Yeah.
Really? You never
Pretty
get your
much
hands dirty? You never go out and press paw with the animals that you're talking
Field
about?
work.
Field work, yeah.
No, I mean, we both have local zoos that we like to visit casually, but no, we don't go out and see the animal every single week. There's no possible way that would work. So.
Okay.
Can listeners tweet at you with their suggestions for animals?
Oh, absolutely.
They can. We add them to a list.
I know that both of you love animals. Do you both have pets?
I love my animals. I love working with them. I love training them. I train my cats as well as my dogs.
What'd you have your cats do? What kind of training are
Well,
they into?
I train them to hop up on the counter and to sit and to sit up and just come when I call. Those are the most things that I train them for. And that's mostly just because I want them to do what I want at the vet. And I want them to come when I call is for safety reasons. So.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, because they're indoor-outdoor or outdoor cats?
They're not. But what if the house caught on fire? I want their first instinct to be to come to me if I yell, that kind of thing. And it may not work, I don't know, but it's just, those are things that I like to have them be able to do for safety. Sometimes they get out too, so it's best if you can call them back to you if they get out.
Yeah, sure.
And if they'll come.
Yeah.
So yeah. Mm-hmm. No, they're indoor
Do you
cats.
do fire drills?
No. We should, though. We probably should.
Yeah. Have some loud noises. I'm just saying, you want to replicate the danger situation and traumatize
I have a
them
feeling
as
the
much as
smell
possible.
would probably be so horrible that they would probably forget all their training, but I'm hoping not.
Oh, no.
So we did.
Not, but,
So we have a dog and 2 cats also, and we did a lot of recall training with the dog. We haven't done any with the cats. The recall training with the dog took months to get her to come while we're in the dog park, the really far distances. With the cats, though, my wife was initially training the cats to use the toilet. Have you ever tried that?
I haven't, because cats really like digging, so I kind of didn't want to take that away from them. And,
Yeah. So that's really funny. That's a good point. We found that it was just literally a hurdle that they had to jump over to get to the toilet. And so they were starting to use the rug around the toilet as a litter box, essentially. And we abandoned that idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea until you start thinking about it, and then you're like, yeah, they really like the litter box thing. They're like, this is the best. It's like the biggest part of their day, or a huge part of their day. Oh, yay!
They only like it if you clean the litter box.
Yeah, but I clean it. I don't understand how you could not clean the litter box. It smells so bad. How would you not immediately know what's going on and go and take care of it?
Point.
I mean, people that have left their litter box for days at a time. I'm like, what planet are you working on? Does your nose work? I mean,
you're right. No one would ever have a good excuse for that, except for once when I was I don't know what, Mark, 19, and I stayed in your house over a summer and watched your cats for you.
Yeah, how'd that go? Yeah,
I wasn't so great at that. In my defense, I was a teenager.
And not used to it, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't used to cats, and cats kind of scare me. We've always had dogs and one cat who hated me. And, the litter box is in the basement, as I recall. Maybe that's just in my recollection. And there was definitely one, 4-day period, maybe 5 days, that I didn't clean it. And I was, going to get to it real soon, and I just didn't because I was a stupid teenager.
Yeah, so Julie, your memory is totally faulty, Julie. So in that little house, we had the cat box in the closet of the bedroom in which you were staying, and that's probably why the cat hated you.
Oh my God.
So the part that she's missing from the story is also that one time when she was sleeping, the cat walked up onto the window ledge above the bed and pushed a potted plant onto her to get her attention, because I think, Julie, you weren't maybe, I didn't give you enough coaching about how to take care of cats, but they need attention and caring and saying, good kitty and stuff. And also that litter box.
He did also pee on me one time.
There was that.
Wow.
That litter box.
He peed on me while I was sleeping.
That litter box was also
you definitely
one of those.
Needed to pay more attention to that litter box, man.
Julie, sorry. Yeah, you were the bad guy in that story, Julie.
Oh, I know it. I will own up to that.
She learned better.
I'm sorry. This episode is about all of y'all, not us. So anyway, back to varmints. So when you go on vacation, are you the kind of person who, as you're walking around, you notice every single dog?
Well, I notice every single dog all the time anyway, so it doesn't matter. I every time we are in the car, Curtis and I are driving somewhere, I'll be like, puppy! puppy, puppy, every dog that we go by, And it doesn't matter if they aren't puppies, if they aren't technically
for
puppies,
sure.
they're all puppies, right? So
They're all puppies,
like,
yeah.
we'll drive by a tiny little chihuahua and I'll be like, puppy, and then we'll drive by a big old pit bull and I'll be like, puppy,
Well, what do you reckon is the etiquette these days on petting other people's dogs when you're out in public?
The same as it always has been since the beginning of time. You should never, ever, ever approach a dog that doesn't belong to you, ever. You should always ask the owner if it's okay to pet your dog and then listen to them, whatever they tell you.
Let me reframe my question. Is it
Why? That was
creepy
great
to
advice.
go up to people... No, I agree. I completely agree. But I knew that one. It's still great advice. But here's where I'm stuck. Is it creepy for me to walk up to other people and be like, "Hi, can I pet your dog?"
No, I don't think
As a
that's
grown-up who does not have children with her in the moment.
No, not at all. But one thing that I have noticed that's a very bad etiquette and something people should probably teach their children is not to run up to people's dogs and to make sure they ask them, but small children need to be taught not to go ee, because it really scares the animals. My little dog Hector's a Chihuahua, and he got the E from little kids, like the screaming, squealing, running approach a lot when he was a puppy, and it made him a bundle of nerves. I mean, he was only like 3 pounds when he was a baby, so he was like, what are these giant pink monkeys going to do to me?
Well, yeah, if you did that to a baby, the parents would not like it.
Yeah, and I think people just don't. They just don't remind their kids that these aren't, it's just not something they should do. And so I had to, they still do it. He's only 9 pounds, which is pretty big for a Chihuahua, but they'll still do it. And I just pick him up, I'm like, you can just observe from up here. And if you want to talk to the kids, that's fine. But at least
put
he
him
won't
in a
be terrified.
dominant position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Paul, do you think there's a gender effect there? I mean, do you think it's easier for Donna and me as women to be able to go up to random strangers and ask to pet their dogs?
I don't mind anybody coming up and asking me to pet the dog. Not at all.
Okay, You heard it here, folks. The animal experts agree. Yes, you may
we're
ask
not
to pet
animal
people's
experts.
dogs. Do not squeal. The people with an animal podcast who are not experts.
No, we're not. No. If we were, we'd be busy working in a zoo or something,
Okay, fair enough. I guess that's why Mark is not actually a historian.
Yes, exactly. I've told you.
Yo, you demonstrated it. Yeah, no, it's cool.
I love history too, Mark, so.
Good. So
I'm a history nerd.
Speaking of history, you're a history nerd, Donna? Okay, well, good. Here's a history question for you. So you, in your show, do you ever talk about extinct animals?
No, we haven't yet.
When you run out of actual, not as a topic, but like to pick an extinct one that would have been cool to be running around the earth right now, because you're going to run out of living animals one day, like in 100 or 200 years, probably.
There are millions of animals on the planet. We will never run out. We will die. This podcast will be a thing of the past, far, far in the past, before we ever run out of animals. I mean,
we have a master list of animals. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, don't. You're not interrupting. We can't tell when we're talking, so just go ahead.
We have a master list of animals, and they are animals that we want to talk about and animals that people have requested. And I keep adding to the list all the time. And I think right now, I did the math one day, and I think I have enough animals to keep me going, doing a weekly podcast through the end of 2018.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's just the list now. That's not even.
Sure.
If we did an extinct animal, I think it would have to be like a special episode, like prehistoric varmints.
Yes. I think that would be amazing, actually. But okay, so Jurassic varmints. So how should people tweet at you? What's your What's your Twitter handle for people who want to suggest other animals to you?
at Varmints Podcast, VARMINTS Varmints Podcast.
And how can our listeners download your show?
Anywhere you get podcasts from, just put Varmints up in the search engine, and we are the only podcast out in the world called Varmints, and it's a little picture of a possum holding a microphone, and if you see that, that's us.
Awesome. And of course, we will be linking to you all, etc. Thank you so much. Mark, did you have closing questions or comments you needed to get out there?
I just had one closing question that'll kind of make me feel really nice and warm inside. If Donna first and then Paul, what animal do you feel like you share the most kinship with? Not necessarily spirit animal. I don't want to go that far, but
right.
Which one do you feel kindred with?
Kinship. Boy, I really want to say the raven because I want to be a raven so badly, but I think I'm probably a cat.
So if it was up to you, you would be a raven. But
yeah, if it was up to me, I would be an adventurous, wise, beautiful, mysterious raven. Mm-hmm. But I think I'm probably a house cat, maybe a little bit of a pudgy house cat.
Oh, God. Okay. Paul, what about you?
I don't know that I have one particular animal that I can relate to, but I think every time I see like a big solitary cat, like a jaguar or a tiger, or maybe like another mainly solitary animal that just kind of does his own thing and only really needs other types of his species at certain times, I can relate to that pretty well. I'm quite introverted, so I like those animals.
Weren't we saying on the Chameleons show that we thought that your spirit animal might actually be the chameleon?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't like a lot of noise. They like being alone.
What about you, Mark?
My spirit animal? I don't think I have one. I haven't ever given it much thought. When I came up with this question for you guys, I was just hoping that I could divert the attention towards you. Julie, how about...
Nice, that's great.
Yeah, how about you, Julie? What's your spirit animal?
Probably like a lemur or something pretty high-strung.
Oh, God.
If I'm being honest, you
right.
know. I mean, like Donna, I've got ideas of animals I'd love to be, but I know I'm not,
That's great.
Thank you again. It's such a pleasure
much.
to get to talk to intelligent people. That was a burn on you, Mark, in case you didn't get it.
Thanks,
I don't know
guys.
if you got it, but...
Bye.
Was that a dig against somebody?
I got it.
Hey, true crime fans, have you listened to Wine and Crime yet? We're a new true crime comedy podcast hosted by three childhood friends who chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash our worst Minnesotan accents.
Each week, us gals pick a true crime topic and pair it with a delicious wine before delving into the background and psychology behind the crime. Then we share and speculate wildly about a couple of bonkers cases related to the topic.
Past episodes have included necrophilia, cults, crimes of passion, cruise ship disappearances, exorcisms gone wrong, all this over a bottle of wine, or, let's be real, 3.
We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and a number of other podcasting apps. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wine and Crime Pod, and check out our website and blog at www.wineandcrimepodcast.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Stephen Pappas.
And I'm Julie Ken.
And we are the host of the Meddling Kids Podcast, a review of all things Scooby-Doo.
We are going through every episode in the Scooby-Doo canon to explain all the questions you meddling kids have.
Right, exactly. Like, is Fred a serial killer? How old is Fred exactly?
Why does Daphne have such bad posture?
Where do these kids live? And is pot legal there?
Where is this place? I think it's Florida. Anyway, stick with us for the Meddling Kids Podcast, a groovy review of all things Scooby-Doo. So today I have the pleasure of introducing everybody to Jonathan Troyer, host of The Troyer Show, which is not a podcast. No. It is a YouTube news show right? Is that how you would describe it?
That's how I'd describe it. It's kind of a news show, but it's just a not serious news show.
This is more than just CNN news show. It's like sitting down with your friend who says, "Oh my gosh, did you see that weird thing about the crocodile? Okay, listen to this." And then you lay out for us the weird thing that happened. And it just feels like I'm listening to news, but I don't get that news hangover after. I don't get that depressed, oh my gosh, what has the world come to feeling after I listen to your show.
Right. That's the thing I'm trying to avoid, because there's so many places that you can get the serious news.
Yeah.
And that will depress you. That I'm like, let's go with something less serious that doesn't really matter in life. My main hero on YouTube basically is Philip DeFranco. He does serious news. He does the things that actually matter, and he does it very well. And I'm like, I wish I could be him, but he does it way better than I ever can. So I'm just going to stick with the weird news over here and let him just handle all the serious things that make people mad.
No, that sounds good. It sounds like you're going for the segment of the population who doesn't want to be depressed. So I know you said in preparation for this you were going to re-listen to our episode in which we gave up the news. So do you, as you're sifting through the news, do you ever feel like you start getting down?
Oh, for sure. When I listen to, Morning Edition or whatever, there's some stories that I just skip because I'm like, this is just too much. It's definitely good for me even to do the research for my show, because then I can read about silly criminals doing silly things and I can laugh and I can be like, oh yeah, the world is more than just politics.
So when you do feel yourself get down, like if you listen to Talk of the Nation too long, then what do you do to help yourself feel better?
I'm an optimist in general. I've always had the outlook that stuff will figure itself out and it will be okay. It's definitely helped me in life and going through a lot of circumstances, being like, okay, I know it sucks real bad right now, but it's going to be okay. It might be decades, but it's going to be okay, Earlier in my YouTube career, I did try to do serious news, and I found that it was just not working. I was getting sad. My subscribers were going nowhere. I was like, this is just way too much work, y'all. And at that time, I hadn't done any presenting or real public performance. And for about a year or so, I stopped making videos and I did improv classes, which really helped. That changed my life, basically, is taking improv, learning how to kind of come out of my shell and just accept stuff and add to it. Yes-anding is a big thing in improv, taking an idea, accepting it and building onto it, and not being scared of, oh, what am I going to say? Just let it flow out, And that's one thing that I would tell anyone to do if they're having trouble with, socializing and all that stuff. Just take an improv class, please.
That's such good advice. I wish Mark lived closer so we could do that, because I'm great, but he needs some work, We,
older brothers always need more work.
Absolutely.
We all know this.
Yes. Here's what I want to know, because Mark and I have talked about maybe doing some YouTube videos here and there.
Right.
But then humans will see me. And so I'm kind of concerned about that too. Do you ever get nervous about being on screen where other humans can see what you look like?
Not really, because I do love attention. I'm one of those people.
That's awesome.
I'm the youngest of 6 kids, right?
Oh my gosh.
I'm just like, hey, look at me. Listen, it's me here. In our family, photo albums, from the week I was born on, I'm on every page.
You're the star.
It's just me. And the weird thing for me is when I'm editing my videos, I don't even recognize that it's me most of the time.
Oh, what do you mean?
It's like I'm editing someone else's video.
Oh, okay.
I remember doing it. I remember which take I should use, but I'm like, who is this guy on my screen?
So it's not a dissociative disorder. It's just.
I hope not.
I hope not too. Well, it would be unethical for me to diagnose you, but I can refer you to some good people. Okay, so You're fine. No,
I'm
yeah, you
fine.
sound totally
Whatever.
normal. It's great. So how do people find this? Do they just Google The Troyer Show?
Type in the Troyer Show into the YouTube search bar.
And that is Troyer.
Yes, Troy,
Okay.
like the city. That's how I do it.
That should be your new tagline. I love it. Thank you so much for your time, and keep us posted. We want to know what's going on with your show. And
For
of course,
sure.
we'll link to it. We've linked to it a couple times in the past, but we'll keep linking. I love watching it. It's always fun, and it's short.
Yeah, for sure. You can definitely follow me on Facebook.com/TheTroyer. That's like my public page, and I have like Instagram and all that stuff too.
Awesome. We'll put all that in the show notes for this.
All that stuff. It'll be great.
Yay! Okay,
Thank you
Jonathan.
so much.
Have a great day.
Hey, you too.
On the Station Wagon podcast, we take a close look at the science and history of the little things we take for granted in life. And then you could...
And then I could say something like... So wait, what do you want me to say?